Alright, so tonight we have a twofer. Um, as promised, a little bit more on the Atlas and a little bit on kind of the second part of hauling as well. So basically, I went out in the Vulture and did the starter salvage mission. Didn't even get it enough off the arrow to actually kick out a crate of construction materials or RMC. But I did grab the weapons. And as you can see, this will actually move them quite well. And it actually will attach it to the cargo grid on the elevator. Didn't seem to in the ship, but it does on the elevator. So we'll go ahead and get these moved and we'll get them sent down. I should mention again, for those that didn't see the first one maybe, that the Atlas is different than the handheld tractor beams. You basically highlight what you want, click the button, it pulls it to you, and then you get a silhouette of the item to put it down. And then you click the button, it just automatically puts it there. So you don't have to scroll at all, which is kind of nice, especially when you're doing cargo. Alright, and now we'll go ahead and send these down. And basically, I'm doing this to test two things. One, whether they'll actually show up in the warehouse properly. And two, can I actually put them on in the vehicle control manager instead of having to tractor them on and off. And from what I can tell, it looks like it worked. So they're now in there. Now the question is, can I actually access them with the vehicle loadout manager? Give me a second here, I'm trying to remember. Pretty sure I didn't have any Panthers in there. I think those tarantulas are the ones I picked up. Alright, so let me go ahead and move this ship. Actually, let's check. Here we go. So, and there they are. So obviously I only put two in. I had some already. And there's the Mark IIIs. So yes, you can actually load them into the vehicle control manager from storing them in the cargo elevator. Alright, let me go ahead and move the ship so we can store it. Alright, now, with that being said, I've actually had a chance to play around with the Atlas a little bit now. And I was kind of hesitant about it at first, just because it's so slow. But realistically, as long as you position your ship properly, and I thought it was going to be back up to the elevator, but it turns out you're actually better off parking on the pad at kind of a 90 to the cargo elevator, and then using it, because that way you only have to turn 90 degrees. If you actually back up to it, you have to rotate the Atlas 180 degrees, and it is slow. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get this stored. This is going to be a culmination of 2 videos. But I didn't want you to have to deal with all of the running around and all the other stuff we did. Alright. So picking up. So we took a mission. In my case, it's a junior mission. Because I don't get anything for the starter missions anymore. So I'm bringing up the cargo. So I've got to load it in the elevator. And then bring the elevator up. You can hear my buddy moving the Atlas in the background. Getting it ready. Alright. So now we've got the cargo up here. Go jump in the Atlas. Actually using a C today for this. So you click on it, pulls it to you. Turn. Where you want to set it, hit the button again, and it puts it there. And then rinse and repeat. So you get all your cargo. Now you can see what I mean as far as doing a 90 instead of 180. Makes a big difference with this thing, time-wise. Oh, and here's the elevator bug. So there is basically, I'm guessing, a physics issue with the screen that goes over in front of the cargo elevator. So it won't let you actually pick up stuff that's in there from outside. Now, if you actually go inside, it'll work. So, also showing my buddy this. So, see, so from outside, nothing. Give it a minute. Get close up, and then you can move it. Sometimes just doing that will be enough that you can go back to doing it from outside. Sometimes it doesn't. Just depends. It can be a real pain if you're trying to do it with the Atlas, unless you got a buddy to help. All right. Yep. Still nothing. All right. So give us somebody to get situated here. He's gonna go move the boxes out, and then I'll take them from there. I mean, it's kind of a pain having to move them out, and hopefully they'll get it fixed at some point. But the Atlas really does make it easy to move it. I was kind of hesitant on the price for 35, 40 bucks or something. Especially when you consider some of the other stuff sold for less. And this is really just a one-trick pony. At this point, you can only do cargo and stuff with it. You're not going to use it for anything else. You're definitely not going to be storming the castle or anything. But in the case of hauling missions, where you can't auto-load, it's definitely a time saver. So it's really changed my opinion of it from the first video. So I'd honestly say at this point that it's definitely worth it. especially with having to manually load. I don't know how many of you have actually tried the auto load on commodity trading, but from what I understand, it's pretty pricey as well. Last box, buddy's being funny. Nope, maybe not the last one. Close enough. Alright. There we go. All loaded up. Not that I need this, but it works. As long as you got enough room to get through. Go ahead and take the ladder here so we can get it moving. So at this point, we got to split cargo from the same location, source, going to a destination. In this case, Bikini Point. So this is just literally going from Riker Spaceport up to Bikini. It's worth, what, about 20 grand? Did notice, keep in mind, the more people that are in your party doing these hauling missions, it seems like you take a drastic cut in rep. Looks like it still splits the money equally, but rep was really off. And the other thing to keep in mind too is if you're whatever level you're at, that's the missions you have to take if you want to get any significant rep. Anything below it, like so if you're a junior and you're doing rookie missions, you get just a pittance of reputation. So it's not even worth it unless you're just after the money. And we'll go ahead and do this without cutting anything, just so you can see a typical hauling mission. Obviously, your results may vary if you're going farther. Since this is just Bikini, it's not very far, so I'm not going to worry about it. I usually try to cut a lot of the quantum stuff out, just so you don't have to sit through it. As we get to this station here, a couple of things to keep in mind. Obviously, if it's a busy station, sometimes you have to wait for a hangar to be open. And sometimes there's been a bug lately, especially since 324.1 dropped, where it doesn't necessarily always register that you're it doesn't always register that you are in there and landed. So in some cases the doors won't close. If the doors don't close, it hasn't registered you as landing. In which case you might have to go back out and come back in. And even if the door is closed, if it says claim on your ship when you try to store it, then go back out and come back in. And that'll usually be enough to clear it. Alright, so that's obviously goofing up. Alright, let's work this time. Yep. Let's just redo the path. That's another bug. If you get that when you're flying to the planet or away from it, just reset your jump. I've actually had it happen on both respects. I've had it going from the planet, and I've had it after I jumped to the planet. So at that point, you just have to redo your jump. Just reset your target and go from there. And there's really no reason not to go in nav mode unless you're getting shot at. So I usually go in nav mode till I get about 10k or less from the station. I switch to SEM. Sometimes it's easier to just fly upside down in comparison to it, especially in one of the ships with limited visibility. Alright. Don't be afraid to use your landing gear to slow down. You still they take it away. Alright, so if you watch any of the other previous videos, you'll see that I actually back up to the cargo elevator. So now with the ATLS, I'm not going to. I'm just going to pull straight in and set down. Hard, apparently. And we'll go ahead and get this ramp down and start getting it unloaded. Alright. When he opens the ramp, I'm going to go ahead and jump in the ATLS. So these missions really are easier with 2 people. However, like I said, you take a real rep hit. My understanding is some people are a little higher up. Some of these missions go as high as 80, 90k. At least that's the max I've heard of so far. Some of them might be higher, I don't know. And then the other thing to keep in mind is if you get a server error, you're stuck with the cargo because you'll lose the mission. And again, rinse and repeat. Unloading, just the opposite. It'll pull it to you from the ship, and then you basically highlight where you want it, hit the button, and it puts it there. So just the amount of time you save with having to scroll normally is a huge difference. Yep, he moved something on me. I was trying to get it to go on top of it. I think I'm too high up in the air. Alright. Unfortunately, they got rid of that bug where your ship will blow up when the crate hits it. At least they said they did it anyway. But go ahead and get this unloaded. Like I said, it's actually pretty quick once you get moving. Obviously, loading can take a little longer if you have to have somebody move the boxes out of the elevator because of that bug. But So far, I haven't seen an effect loading into the elevator, just coming out. Oh, there we go. Apparently, I can go on top. Like how it even ducks below the roof there, or the lip. Alright. I think the last one here. Alright. Go ahead and put the Atlas back. Although we'll probably do a return trip, but I'm not going to record that. That's the best way to make money hauling, is just back-to-back missions. Pick up someplace, go someplace else, and then do it again. You can literally make a loop around the entire Stanton system and probably make a couple 100,000 if you do it right. And as you get used to it more and more, it'll be quicker. Alright, there we go. Mission complete. So, only mission's done. That one. Alright. Any questions? Let me know.